Absolutely none. We had no technology at all compared to today. It's just awesome. Today I have a laptop, an iPhone, an iPad. Whatever you have, I think I have. And when things arise in our lives, we do get accustomed to them, but we have to learn how to use them, such as a laptop. Oh, and I should say, what started the whole thing is the TTY. It was a large TTY machine. It was made in Germany. They called it the German TTY, a teletypewriter. It was quite large, so we would type the message. It was quite laborious. And then today, now we have iPhones. Very interesting. Huge difference. Everybody can text. Sometimes it helps me to communicate. Maybe I forget my homework. I can use my Chromebook or something to email the teacher, and the teacher will send me my homebook. So that's very useful. The first technology I used was the iPad. They gave us iPads to use during class, so we didn't just have to use a smartboard. And we're still using the Chromebooks as well. And we have technology in the classrooms. It's fun. Sometimes the computer crashes, or we forget to save something, or somebody deletes something, or they move it to a different place. So sometimes you do have a hard time with the computer. Maybe it doesn't even work right. It has a virus. There can be problems, and it can affect other things as well. Technology helps. Like in a movie, if you want captioning, they give you a device. But I don't like that. I really prefer to have the captioning right on the screen, but they do give you the device, and it's technology. It's getting better. It's putting us more on an equal playing field. There's also glasses for deaf people. When the hearing person talks, the captioning comes up on the glasses. It's kind of a cool invention. I use technology to communicate with. I use it to communicate with my parents, with video relay. Sometimes it's hard to communicate with hearing people. So I use video relay, I text. With deaf people, it's very easy to communicate with video, phone, or texting. With hearing people, it's a little bit different. I like the touch screen on the computers, and I think everything should be touch screen. To download, I mean, sometimes I don't like the regular computers. You have to use the mouse, you have to move the cursor, you have to click. I'd rather everything just be touchscreen, like an iPad. That's my favorite. Now, oh yes, I use my video phone. I use iPhone. I text and email with that. I remember when I was here at ASD as a student, we didn't have that technology. I remember my very first time I used technology was a pager. You know, where you just put in a number. After that, then, you know, there was AOL, there was Wintel pagers, there was all these different devices, and then smartphones. And now, of course, we've got the iPhone. Before, I don't know if you know about a TTY. We were limited. There was a lot of things we missed. We'd miss phone calls, et cetera, but with the pager or with our iPhones, it's with us 24/7, 365 days a year. I feel more close. I feel like I can communicate with anybody. And with the video phones and with relay services, you have an interpreter there, so you can sign, and also you can have a Spanish-speaking video relay operator, so I can communicate with my family that speaks Spanish, both here and in Puerto Rico as well, which is really nice. Before, that did not exist. And it was frustrating before, but now I feel very comfortable. I feel that I have no limits. I text, I use a video phone, FaceTime, laptop, Facebook. Back then in 1995, I don't think we had a smartphone where you could see everybody's business, etc. We used to just text only. That was about all we could do. Or we had beepers, you know, call me. So there's been a lot of evolution in the past 20 years. Now we have iPhones, etc. Like the iPhone, iPads, Mac computers, which I have at home, and here I use Chromebooks. I can learn online, I can do research and do a lot of different things for my education. I learn a lot of new vocabulary online, and I can do research on my iPhone, my iPad, and finally I'm finding some new vocabulary and I'm starting to pick that up. Sometimes with technology, the computer crashes, you can't have a conversation on your iPad because your battery dies or something freezes. You're not able to communicate very well with the devices. You have to wait till it comes back on or it finally starts working again, and then you can communicate again. It's boring to write with pencil and piece of paper. It's so much faster to use an iPad. I mean, if you have to write by hand, sometimes you get lost. With an iPad, it's so simple. I use technology. I use the phone. I text. I send notes back and forth to people. Sometimes I FaceTime with people, either with gestures or with sign language. Also, for example, before technology, when there was none, how would I contact someone? I can't call on the phone because I'm deaf. It's very hard to get hold of someone. But now, I can FaceTime the person. I can text the person. It's really, really simple to contact people. Much better than just having a telephone, which for the deaf people is not helpful. I use technology. I use the iPhone, and I FaceTime people. I Facebook with people. I text. Most of the time I use the iPhone. I also have a video phone that I use to communicate with anybody I need to call. My cochlear implant connects automatically to the amplification system in the classroom right when I walk in. I forget what you actually call it, but it connects when you walk into the room. The difference is we have FaceTime, we can sign to one another. Sometimes it's hard for deaf people to use the phone, but we don't need to use it in the traditional manner. We can FaceTime, we can text, and sometimes if people speak slowly, I'm able to understand them, but we can use Snapchat, but deaf people like to use FaceTime the best. It's not a good idea to get involved with people that you don't know who they are. If I were to make friends with a stranger, it might be a very risky thing to do. If you don't know who the person is, you shouldn't be talking to them online. It's important that you know who they are, and of course stay in connection with your family. Yes, I do use technology, but I don't have a video phone. I have an iPhone. I use FaceTime. I text. I communicate with people to get my classwork. I mean, cell phones and smartphones started when I was about 12 or 13. And I found that it was much easier to communicate. I move a lot. I move from state to state. And of course I have my old friends where I've just left, and I don't hear from them in a very long time until finally I got a phone, and I was thrilled because I could see them and chat with them during FaceTime. And I thought that was very important. And of course it's important that I can keep in touch with my cousins and be able to talk with them.